From the House of Sungo, this is Gaytopix, My Life. I'm your host, Kenny Cruz, and these are real stories, real life events that happened to me in my life. There is nothing fake or fabricated in what I'm saying or any of these stories that I tell. All rights reserved. Some viewers may find what I'm saying disturbing, so viewer discretion advised. Again, I'm your host, Kenny Cruz, and this is Gaytopix, My Life. It's been a week, and this is what has emerged. I may be scarred for life. I cannot see out of my right eye. My eye was closed for some time, and it's been tearing up on so much, and it's right now it's really hard to, because it burns. Metaphorically, it's all disturbing or reality check for me. Like when my eye finally did open and I saw what I saw and what I see now. Look at this. My best attribute is now destroyed. Beauty does fade, but at what cost? I am in a lot of pain. It feels like there's a cotton ball in my eye, and every time I blink, glass and sand are trying to, and it burns so much. But what I find metaphorically about my life and what I've been through, and reliving it as I go through this series, is that my eye was is that what I see is my life. When my eye finally did open, it's very hard to even speak, or because I have to keep my eyes closed. When my eye finally did open, it reminded me that, like, the depths of hell, like I was in hell and there was fire and burning and, you know, tunnels and halls and caves, because my eye essentially looked like the crypt keeper or something evil. It was no longer white, it was red. And what was white was a fuzzy cotton-like substance, completely covering the color of my eye. So I am completely blind. I cannot see out of my right eye. And it's very painful. People always ask me why I don't have any tattoos. My stretch marks are my tattoos because those are a significant piece of life and what I've been through. I remember going on an audition and them criticizing me for my stretch marks, because my stretch marks were unique in that it looked like I was being scratched. And everyone found it to be very attractive or beautiful, but they demeaned me and made me feel so ugly. And it was for some big, fat, overweight, like standing in the corner in a bar by himself. You know, we all seen those type of people. I don't mean to be so abrasive, but I'm trying to make a point. The point is, you can't see, but we all have scars of life, and tattoos represent some part of your life, which is why you get the tattoo, and it's a meaning in your life. That's why you have to get the tattoo, because it's lifetime. And my stretch marks were an attribute of mine as once before. Excuse me, I spoke to an EMT yesterday because I've been trying to do things with my eyes closed, including walking my dog. And yesterday I spoke to an EMT who clearly see my eye and didn't render aid to me. I found that to be very like a brick in my face. Like you couldn't even give me a gauze to dress it. And clearly seen that I was in an emergency. And they were on a coffee break in the middle of the street, idling in a traffic, drinking coffee and on their phones. What you're seeing probably is an emergency, but it's also my body failing. I've been through a lot in the past 2, 3 years, and it is very painful. And I think each tear that falls is a piece of my life. And they just keep falling and falling. Has it been so bad? Wow. No one knew. No one knows. It's all a secret. A secret only you know. To me, it's like looking at good versus evil. Because this is also evil and blood-ridden. And this is like an angel in the sky, blue and heavenly, sometimes hazel. That's one of the best things I love about my eyes, is that they always change color regardless of the mood that I'm in. Sometimes they were yellow, sometimes one was green, one was blue. Sometimes they were green, sometimes they were blue. Sometimes they were hazel. I love when they're hazel because it looks like the sand on a beach. And my pupils being the happy couple getting married with the wind blowing and the horses. Ooh. If I shall pass away, let this take note. This is my life. These are the things that have happened to me to make me be here like this, going through this. Every day it's the same. Every night it's the same. It's non-stop. And there's no help or support. You see, this whole, metaphorically, because I can't see, but this meaning the fact that I'm in this condition means that there are no people actively in my life to actually render aid or assistance. It's funny, when I was going through the adoption for Bingo and Joe Biden, they kept telling me their main concern was the health and well-being of the dog. But to me, they should have been more focused on the health and well-being of the owner or the adoption. People get dogs and cats, birds for support. It feels okay to have some physical being there than rather than nothing at all. I mean the world to him. Just like Bill Clinton. He mean the world to me. I keep, it's like a repeat. Jane, I'm dying. Jane, I'm dying. You know, they once called me the Joan Crawford of porn because I was dramatic. I hate to be reminded of that in my last days. I'm glad I've done this series, My Life. This is Gaytopix, My Life. I'm your host, Kenny Cruz. Remember, you're always in the mix with Gaytopix. I'm glad I done this series because I now have documentation for people to know the truth of it and hear my voice, to listen. Okay, now I'm really crying, which I hope helps. I know what death looks like. I've seen it many times before. My body is shutting down. I'm going through severe problems and I'm here by myself. This may be my last message or my last show. My life has been very tragic and very depressing and very lonely. But I'm happy with having a dog. I'm happy with talking to no one or knowing anyone. Just having a dog is everything to me. And to be denied adoption, it was, what do people see that I don't see? I mean, I literally cannot see now, but what do people see that I don't see? It's it's always something. The littlest things. People always want to run away from me. I don't understand. I've never been given an opportunity or a chance or time to be heard. I'm always having to prove myself. I shouldn't have to do that. I was a sergeant in a fucking army. I shouldn't have to prove myself to anyone, especially insignificant people. People who don't mean anything to me, I should not have to be proving myself to them. I'm a fucking mess. Do you see? Do you see the cloud? It's I'm lost. And in this eye is there's so much pressure because it's my lonely eye and I can't see. There's all these wrinkles. I keep telling people I'm not the same person, and I never was the person I was. They thought me to be, you know what I mean? I was never the person they thought I was, or what they assumed. Such, I was never given a chance on anything, on anything. It's just how many job interviews, how many judges, how many police officers, how many caseworkers, how many people and boyfriends and lovers. Even if it gets to that. Because I've never been in that talking. I don't even know if that still exists because it was a term that we used back in the day. You were talking while deciding to get into a relationship with someone. But because you were talking, it meant that you were like at second base. I've never talked to anyone. My eye burns. Everything that I'm experiencing right now is is okay. I can get through it because I've been through everything else. I've been through a lot and I can get through this. And if I can't, then should this be my last message and my last show? I don't. It's hard to. Everything is so screwed up. People may have think that watching this series I'm screwed up, but it's what people did to me, made me who I am and what I represent, which is this eye, the depths of hell and despair and evil, blood, curdling, Michael Myers type shit. It's like the elevators in The Shining, and the blood pouring out of the elevators. That's what I see in my eye. That's what I see in my eye. My soul is gone, and that's what's left. Is that shiny cotton piece. It's gone. My soul has left. Perhaps this was me getting, you know, adjusted to Bill Clinton being gone. And he can leave too. And I can be okay with him being gone. Because I still love him and think about him every day. I miss him so much. But Bingo is a good fit in, a good co host. You'll see him in a minute. Well, excuse me, on another episode, I hope. I just, the light is so bright. It feels like I've been. Here's a story. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm going to focus like that. Find a good way to there. And close. Here's a good story. I remember being in basic training in the army, and at the time, basic training was 8 weeks, or 3 months. Excuse me. It was 3 months. It's 8 weeks now. But we went into this gas chamber, and it was literally like a chamber because it was nothing but bricks, and everything was stuck inside, like this chamber of secrets. It was wet and it was bricked and it was sand and it was under the ground and damp and dark. And there were 40 of us. And drill sergeant was also in there, but he was wearing his gas mask. We were told to put on our gas mask, and then we were told to have them off. And we had to sit there for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we had to go to drill sergeant and tell him our last name and social security number and rank. By the time he got to me, they couldn't say anything because I was a fucking mess. My eyes were so watery and bloodshot, and my nose was running and full of boogers, and my mouth was so wet with drool and spit. My head was spinning. It was horrible. I never want to experience anything like that again, but that's what I feel that's happening to me is that I'm stuck in this gas chamber and I can't get out and my eye is burning. Wow. Ugh. Be careful. You see, I am a mess. I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad this is recording. Again, this is Gaytopix My Life. I'm your host, or used to be host, Kenny Cruz, the only host to bring you the latest gay and lesbian headlines and breaking news. Yes, I was at one point. I love journalism because it allows me the time to investigate and search and understand why someone or something happened the way it did. And it's also intriguing to look at it through a different perspective. I believe that's why there's so many documentary series now. You know, with Brittany, Janet, and Pamela and Tommy, you know, which I suggest everyone watch it on Hulu. Pamela and Tommy, it's really good. It's so good. But you know, it's. I just lost my train of thought because it's so good. I just remember Pamela and Tommy on Hulu is you like it. Trust me. It'll be a fag favorite. The queens will love it. I haven't really known who the actress was or done my job in because I've been sick. I actually haven't been very active at all this season. I would love to be outside every day to deliver the news. That's what I intended to do, was to show everybody how beautiful New York is. And to be live on the streets where the news happens, where the story develops, where the sources come from. Because it's one thing to put something out as a different narrative when it's completely opposite of what you're actually going through. I've done that before when I was an adult entertainer. Being an adult entertainer is not degrading as it seems, but it was a job in itself because I was an actor in the industry, in the gay industry, where there was so much competition. It felt like I was in American Idol at times, and I just never got that golden ticket to Hollywood. And it became very demoralizing at a certain point in my life. But I never wanted to give it up because it was what I was most successful at the time in my life. I can't just stop something because people don't like it or accept it or want to see it. I always thought it would be the opposite because when people haven't seen me in so long, when they finally do, I was going to curse, when they finally do hear my name in the title of the movie, they would more than likely see it and view it and download it and sell it or whatever you have you, because it has been so many years. And it would be a huge opportunity for some production company to take advantage of, like they did with Pamela and Tommy. And it's really unfortunate. I can do it myself, but I can't do like this series, My Life. I can't give it to you the way I want to. You know, it's becoming very challenging because I don't have the resources or the knowledge to know or to create my vision. I can always hire somebody, but their name is on it. And it shouldn't be that. It's my story. I guess another reason why I like doing this series because it's me. It's my personal life. It's my identity. It's my story. It's what made me the person you see now. It's what made me be the person I intend to see because I'm blind, but I can see with one eye. It's very difficult, but because it burns, everything burns. Maybe perhaps finally I'll get a tan or be dark enough to be accepted into the neighborhood that I live in or the school that I went to as a kid, you know, or it seems very harsh that because I live in this neighborhood and I'm discolored, these things happen, or these people don't automatically want to associate with me or say hello. I have a fucking puppy. Which brings me to that. Like, my, my dog means so much to me. Like, I still go on a 4 to 5 times a day walk. I just came from the park and we were there for like 3 hours. I, I rather, shit, I'd rather him be taken care of and fed and, given water to drink and be active and healthy and playful than my own health and well-being. That's what I alluded to earlier when I said that the person who was looking for the adoption was only about the dog, but it's about the owner too. And going, the dog means more to me than to ever know. The dog will be helpful in so many ways because he's an inner reflection of me, of who I am. That's what Bill Clinton did. That's the amazing things about dogs is that they literally are created based off of you and everything you train them to be. It's it's amazing. It's amazing. And people often want to undermine you for that difficult responsibility because if you train them the right way, you will no longer feel that pressure of being responsible when or something happening because you trust your dog and your dog trusts you and you're together in one mind. Bingo's slowly getting there. He's getting there slowly, but he's still a puppy, so I can't see him. I don't know where he is, but I'm glad he's not on top of me because he's usually on top of me, humping me. Sometimes I just put my hand out and let him hump my hand. Like, just go ahead. But it's been a great joy of having him. It's been really great having him. I hope to train him to be my sight and my seeing eye dog. I'm trying to show him things now, but again, he's still a puppy, and it's probably confusing him because I'm trying to show him other things, you know. So he's learning a lot right now, but he is being very responsive, and he's very intelligent because he remembers things very good clearly. The first time I trusted him when he was off leash, he was probably about 4 months old, and I took the leash off, and he ran to the dog run. He was there at least 5 minutes before I got there. He knew exactly where he was going. To me, that gave me the confidence to continue to have him off leash and also to praise him by allowing him to be off leash. He's doing very well. I wanted to have him off leash today, but as of lately, I can't even have him off leash because I can't see. I mean, the lights though are so blaring, like the street lights and the traffic lights and the lights from the cars. I was waiting at the light, the street light or the corner of the street, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I can't even think straight right now. It's very difficult to manage to or try to see something and can't see. I'm trying my hardest to see, and I can't because there's something blocking me from seeing, and I can't see. Again, I think all of this is a representation of what I've been through in my life, and think that this is it. My body is failing, and when your body fails, as we all know when we watch ID channel or investigation discovery, is that you're close to death. So if I recover from this, I become a survivor. But right now, I'm going through it, and I can't survive something I'm going through or continue to go through or continue to be endured by. Why do people shun me? Why do people hate me? Why do I care about people? But people are unique. Like, if I had people in my life, they would give me an opinion and tell me I need to go to an emergency room. You know, the fact that I can't see. But then when it's a negative opinion, it's told to be dismissed. It should not be dismissed, because if their opinion on everything else essentially means something, then why does that have to be dismissed? It should be taken lightly, or the way it comes out. Some people say I can't handle criticism. I actually value criticism. Again, everybody's going to criticize me about this series or the way it is, but it's all raw and unedited. So I'd rather it be scripted, but it is unedited, and I'd rather it be just the way it is, because this is how I've been living, and this is me. This is who I am. This is my life. I've been going on for too long, and I can't bear it anymore. So I'm going to. Do you see? It looks like a ghost. A ghost. A shadow of a man. Someone who once stood very firmly. It's now a ghost. It burns too. You don't see him blue anymore. And it's so old. No. This is me. Oh, it burns. I'm your host, Kenny Cruz, and this is Gaytopix, My Life. These are real life stories, real life events, real life experiences. Some viewers may find what I'm saying disturbing, so viewer discretion advised. Again, I'm your host, Kenny Cruz, and this is Gaytopix, My Life.